Hello, this is Yujin. I'm 32, single, management consultant based in the United States. Today, I would love to share some tips on egg freezing. I froze my eggs at 30. To prepare for this video, I spent 40 hours looking through documentaries, reading books, and also attending fertility webinars so you can get all the high-level value in this two-part video. Feel free to skip ahead to the section that speaks most to you. This was a huge investment in both time and money. To make sure I maximize my chances, I found that it was helpful to consider the following factors: the clinic success rate, the fertility doctor, as well as proximity to the clinic. I invite you to learn as much as you can before your first appointment with the doctor. Ask them hard questions to show that you did your homework and you can get a more personalized recommendation. Two questions I brought with me are oocyte cryosurvival rate and blastocyst conversion rate. Ideally, you want to work with a clinic that does both freezing and thawing. You can use SART, the Society for Associated Reproductive Technology website, to compare clinics within the United States. I studied statistics in UC Berkeley, so playing around with this website was kind of fun. By using the SART Clinic Summary Report, you can see individual IVF success rate. Here, the success is defined as a delivery of a baby. I liked how my doctor never hinted at how many eggs I will get based on my AMH hormone levels. The anti-Murin hormone is an indirect indicator as to how many eggs you will have. Her credential, personality, and approach gave me comfort, so I decided to work with her. Not a lot of people talk about proximity, but if you can find a clinic that's close to you, you will save a lot of trouble. The monitoring appointments for blood work and ultrasound typically take place in the morning. I tried my best to grab the earliest slot. If you need to head into the office afterwards, be mindful of peak rush hours. Keep your mornings light as possible if you can. At 30, I had just graduated from business school. Thankfully, I had my investment property. I had no debt, but I knew that this was going to cost a lot of money. Egg freezing, the medication, the appointments, the lab tests, storage costs were all going to be expensive. So I wanted to find a way to lessen the financial burden. I considered Korean clinics. I'm Korean. I could stay with my parents and go through the procedure at a quarter of the cost. But at the same time, there were also some concerns. For instance, it would be impossible for me to ship the eggs outside of Korea. Getting sperm donation as a single woman not married in Korea is illegal. I also considered non-urban clinics to drive down the cost, but I don't have a car and it's going to be much harder for me to get around. At the time, I used my credit card's payment plan to cover the cost. I paid a small fee for about 8 months. Looking back, I wish I had just opened a new credit card with 0% APR for 12 months. That would have saved me a lot of money. The fertility clinic you're working with will likely have payment plans, financial planning partners who will walk you through the process. For those who are very lucky to have employers with fertility benefits, keep in mind that you are still responsible for the taxes, since the benefit is usually considered taxable. Also, please consider donating your leftover medication. I did that too. Let's try to help pay it forward. Utilize pre-tax dollars from HSA and FSA whenever possible. This year, I used my FSA to cover for the egg storage. I also stopped spending money on a few things. For instance, my nails. I don't drink anymore. I also didn't drink coffee, so that helped a lot. In some cases, if you have special medical conditions, such as blocked tubes, then your insurance could cover egg freezing. There are also many different types of grants that are state-specific, clinic-specific, and patient-specific. I found the most comprehensive list of grants from Fertility IQ. Being a good student, I treated the egg freezing process like an assignment. I had all my injections on a Google Calendar and tracked my body, my mood, the food I ate, as well as hormone levels on a Google spreadsheet. I started with 75 international units of Menopur, that's 1 powder vial, and ended with 150. During my regular check-ins at the clinic, I asked to get my blood work as well as ultrasound photos sent back to me so I could see how my body was doing. Getting these reports made the journey a little bit more fun and entertaining. Look at the photo of my future baby. I also made a list of supplements and during my check-ins asked whether I should adjust the dosage of vitamin D and the prenatal supplements I was taking. At one point, I overslept and was late to one of my morning injections by a few hours. I panicked. oh no, my eggs. I called the clinic and was connected immediately with the doctor who calmed me down, said it was going to be okay. I turned out fine too. So know that mistakes can happen and there will be adjustments that can be made. I made radical lifestyle adjustments. I stopped working out before, during, and after the egg freezing process, 2 months in total, and I was instructed to do so. So instead of going to Pilates and my boxing classes, I walked around the city, used that as a form of exercise. They also told me no biking. Stationary bike was okay, but I couldn't bike around the city using City Bike. To reduce screen time, I made a public library card and started reading about motherhood and fertility. I used this time to reconnect with things that I love. Listening to classical music, going to operas. I also bought a used piano. That was really fun. It reminded me of my 9-year-old self playing after school. I felt young. This was a very enjoyable process for me. It's very tempting to go around someone who already gone through this process to ask,
oh, how many eggs did you freeze? How did it all turn out?
It's very tempting. I had the same thoughts. But at the end of the day, know that this is a very personal journey and a personal process. Every body will be different. Also, it's not a competition. Allow yourself to feel confident in yourself. Food was one thing I could control. So I channeled my frustration of I can't work out into cooking at home. I hired a nutritionist and I let her know of my goals of getting the best quality eggs. This is what my fridge looked like during this time. As you can see, I had a simple rule: eat whole foods and avoid processed foods. I normally don't stress eat, but something really weird happened. I was spooning out of a peanut butter jar and I don't even like peanut butter. Figure out who you want to share and what you want from them. Be clear with your goals. Are you asking for encouragement, for support, or for personal space? You can become sensitive during hormone injections, and that may trigger some unwanted emotions. I knew my family was confused as to why I wanted to freeze my eggs, so I kept my discussion with them to a minimum. To my friends, I openly shared what I was going through because I wanted to be a resource. And that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. Once I made the payment for egg freezing, I let my whole team at work know that I was going through this process. I gave them a sense of what my 2-week schedule would look like and a plan to help balance my workload. On dates, I don't think I progressed that far to share that I was freezing my eggs. So yeah, maybe my dates will know if they find this video. I'd be happy to share more about my thoughts on egg freezing next time. Thank you for watching and stay healthy. So why do I regret freezing my eggs? Just because it's there doesn't mean everyone should do it.